Oh, okay. Well, good evening. Good evening. Welcome to Real Conversations with Kim Brown. Hello, everyone. Hello, everyone. It's 7 o'clock. I'm on time. I'm on time. So, Real Conversations with Kim Brown. Real Conversations with Kim Brown. Real Conversations with Kim Brown. We are here. Good evening. Good evening to you all. Good evening. Go ahead and like, share, and invite. Like, share, and invite. So glad that you guys have come on with me tonight. Tonight, we're going to be talking about emotional regulation. Emotional regulation. Yes, yes, yes. I felt it necessary to talk about this on tonight. Listen, these past 2 weeks really have been rough. And there have been some things that I've been noticing as it relates to emotions, emotional triggers, and just emotional regulation. So we gonna talk about it tonight. Y'all come on in here. Y'all come on in here. Come on in here. Come on in here. I want y'all to go ahead and share, tag, like, share to your different groups. Let everybody know that we're on. Let everybody know that we're on. We're talking about emotional regulation tonight. So when we're talking about emotions, of course, the first thing that come to mind, you're going to think about, like, how do you feel, right? We're talking about sadness, fear, happy, joy, anger, right? All of those things will be considered emotions, right? They elicit not only a physical response, like out of our bodies. You might feel sweaty palms. You might have heart beating fast, heart palpitations. You might feel like this synergy of energy, right? In any given moment, depending on whatever emotions you are experiencing. One of the things that I found though in our community is we don't talk a lot about emotions. We don't talk about a lot about emotional regulation. And I like to use the word regulation instead of control because I feel like when we talk about control, we give way to more manipulative behavior, right? And that's not what we want. We want to be disciplined in our emotions. And in order to be disciplined in our emotions, we have to know how to regulate them. We have to have the proper skills to be able to deal with the emotions that we feel, okay? So, y'all know over here on Real Conversations with Kim Brown, listen, we elevate necessary, difficult conversations. One of the things that I do is I come here and I talk to you guys about my experiences because, the Lord told me a long time ago, you talk and you speak from your own convictions. Right? I think that's where we help people most when we talk about our own convictions, when we discuss our own testimonies, when we talk about the things that we have experienced personally. And for me on this week, it was just like all over the place, like feeling up and down and trying to figure out where's these emotions coming from? I'm sad one day, upset the next, angry, frustrated. Where is it coming from? Trying to figure out and get to the root of these a range of emotions. And it hit me like literally, I want to say it had to have been like Wednesday night. It was like, oh, okay. Anytime you're in a place of your life where you're getting ready to transition, right? I mean, y'all, let's have a real conversation. Anytime you're getting ready to transition, anytime you're on the cusp of doing something great, anytime that you're getting ready to begin a new venture, anytime that you're getting ready to embark on a new journey, there's going to be a certain level of resistance that you encounter in any form. It can come from anywhere, right? What we're challenged to do, though, is to identify where it's coming from. And then we have to develop a strategy or some type of system. I'm talking good already, Joe. We have to develop some type of strategy or system and way that we deal with it, right? And way that we cope, the way that we move through it, the way that we process it. I try not to use too many therapy words with y'all. I'm coming straight from work. coming in here talking to y'all about this. So I was thinking on this on Wednesday, and I'm like, okay, Kim, you cannot be in one of the greatest seasons of your life and not be able to really embrace it and enjoy it. We expect that there's going to be resistance, right? We know that that's going to happen. However, what we don't expect is to be bombarded with this range of feelings and trying to deal with how we feel, trying to sort it out, right? Because and then we become, what happens is we become so focused on dealing with the feelings, it distracts us from really embracing and taking in the moment. Listen, I got my fan. Listen, let me tell y'all, I'm not playing today. I was here on time. I came straight in on this topic because what I recognize is that there are many of you who can relate to this subject matter. There are many of you who are experiencing some of the same things that I'm talking about today, which would be emotional deregulation. Right? Yeah. You are experiencing that inability to regulate, to deal with, or to, I don't want to say control, but to have a system to deal with how you feel. And what it is doing is it's causing you to lose time. I'm going to sip. We starting early. I might not even be here with y'all all night because, see, what you got to know about Kim is once I get the dime on something, I'm ready to go. And see, what didn't happen is I done took my time to really think about this, and I got my notes, I got my book. I'm going to share some things with y'all. And then I'm going to segue to another difficult conversation. It's still included in this, but I really got to bring it out because it's important for you to understand something. Let me sip. I got my tea. It got echinacea in it and elderberry. They shout out to my baby mama. She keeps me together on these Fridays. So listen. When we're talking about emotional deregulation, right? That's that inability to control, to harness, to be able to really process how you're feeling, right? Another part of the emotional deregulation is that you give way to emotional triggers. We're going to talk about it. You say, okay, Kim, what is a trigger? Well, an emotional trigger is whatever that thing is. It can be a situation, a circumstance. It can be a person, place, or thing, right? That elicits some form of a response from you, right? That trigger can elicit a memory. It can be a conversation. It can be a particular person. It can be something that they say. It can be a particular place, right? And what it does is it triggers you. And so now it elicits a feeling, okay? Let me give you an example. Let's say we know the holidays finna come up, right? Thanksgiving, everybody going to grandma's house. You got all dressed, you come in. First thing grandma say is, ooh, child, you done gained about 5 more pounds, didn't you, baby? Immediately, before she'd even get it out her mouth, you done tensed up. Your anxiety done went through the roof because she done triggered you by what she said. Now, that's the scenario we're going to deal with for tonight. We're going to use another one. Now, we're going to dissect this situation. Now, there's a few things that we got to identify. Number one, you was triggered by what grandma said, number one, because that's a vulnerable area for you. It's a sensitive subject. And that's okay. We all got them. However, what we got to identify is where did you give the subject power to determine how you going to respond? Joe, I'm going to slow down. Can I slow? Okay, Joe, let me get my tea. My engineer in here, listen. That's what I discovered on this week. I said, okay, Kim, we got to identify where, at what point did you give this situation? When did you yield? That's the perfect word. Thank you, Holy Ghost. When did you yield ground, or when did you yield or give permission to this situation to tell you how to feel? Listen, I'm trying to give somebody some nuggets because you've been struggling this week, and I feel it. And I was struggling this week because what you got to know is, what did we say on last week, and we've been saying since we took this platform? We getting free. We getting free. That's what we said. And so in order to get free, sometimes it's not always about what somebody did, what they said, or what happened. Sometimes we have to acknowledge within ourselves where we yielded certain ground and where we are undisciplined, right? And how we respond to certain things. Then we also have to go down the journey of holding ourselves accountable to safeguard our emotion. Listen, let me tell you how I know it's true. Even scripture talk about guard your heart. Even scripture references guard your heart. And the reason why it does is because it recognizes that if there's something able to penetrate the heart, it can control you. Listen, I'm sharing with y'all what I experienced on this week. I identified the fact that I have given way to some things. I have yielded some things by way of default and unknowingly. Let me give you an example. Y'all know I'm a mom. I got 3 kids. Let me tell you something. They can run amok on me. Have me feeling all type of way. I'm trying to figure out what's going on. Because sometimes what happens is, unintentionally or unknowingly, we can yield our vulnerability to certain relationships, like our children, right? And so they have the ability to play with our emotions. We become the puppet, we poke Pinocchio and they Geppetto, and they just stringing us along, right? It happens in leadership if you're in ministry. It happens if you're in a relationship, a marriage. It happens with children. It happens in friends. Oh, wait, listen. You can get mad all you want. We're going to have a real conversation over here. What you got to know is this. Listen, I thank God for giving me the platform. I thank God for being free. I owe no man nothing but to love him. I can tell the truth. When you yield certain levels of ground in certain relationships, it gives people the ability and control to play with your emotion. Let me tell you how they do that. I'm going to use a very simple, and I got to talk about myself. I told you I'm a mom. My daughter comes, Mommy, and I'm like, no, I said you can't have it. And this is what I said. She said, but Mommy. And before you know it, come here. Well, what's wrong? Well, what happened? And I'm all in. Not remembering the fact that I was just chastising her. And I had a reason to do it. But just that quick, because she know that once she do the waterworks and she say, but Mommy, it's over with. I'm trying to figure out what happened. Listen, people got you the same way. They got you wrapped all up and through. They know exactly how to string you, play you. And listen, can I hit you with this? Some of them use the word of God to get you right where they want them, won't you? I'm going to tell the truth. I'm going to tell the truth because I got to. You got people who you've yielded ground to, who have created whole scenarios, whole situations, right, where they have you stuck. They got you in a situation where you Pinocchio and they Geppetto. You can't even see that your emotions are being played with. Let me give you an example. Let me tell you how. Okay, let me tell you how. You ain't even mad. You having a good day. Somebody ring your phone, ask you about something, or inquire about something. Next thing you know, you get off the phone with them, you mad. Pick this up, you go to yelling at your kid. What? What you asked me, huh? You talking to your husband, what? Listen, y'all can act like it ain't you, but it is. And you trying to figure out what happened just that quick. Well, that person, that conversation was your trigger. And they have control over you because what they did was, it was a transferring emotion, really. They got you spinning on the tail now. Listen, I know I'm talking good. I know I'm in the vein. I know I am. And listen, let me tell you why this is important. I want y'all to hear this. I am a substance abuse therapist. I work with inmates Monday through Friday. I'm talking about in a jail. I do therapy. I'm talking to them. They dealing with substance abuse. I want you to know that there are people behind bars right now, not only from split-second decisions, but because they lack the ability to see, here it is, where they have given somebody else control of how they should feel. I'm telling y'all the truth. You got people who done gave up their whole life and their freedom because they couldn't identify the fact that there's somebody else playing puppeteer. Listen, I want to give y'all some, we moving real fast because it's important. Some stuff you just got to catch. If it ain't for you, then it ain't for you. I want you to hear this. So, by definition, emotional regulation is the ability to exert control over one's own emotional state. Here's what I'm saying. Let's go back to the scenario of, it's Thanksgiving, you walked in, grandma mentioned your weight, right? And you immediately, your body went, you got anxiety. Now here, in order for you to take back control of that situation, or even for you to identify what happened there, first, you got to know what your vulnerabilities are. You already know that your vulnerabilities, you have a sensitive area when it comes to your weight. You already know that who your grandma is, or how the person she is, or what she gonna say. So you got to already be pre-prepared for that conversation when you go in the door. Then when she do it, you got to be stealth. You got to be like a blank board, right? What am I saying? There can't be no response in you from what she said. Huh? None. Because see, the moment that you respond, or if you give any type of response, you done gave way, you done yielded the ground. Now they know which button to push. Right? Now you on a tailspin. Okay, let's go back to the other scenario. We said somebody called you on the phone. They get to asking you, well, you know, such and such. Listen, you got control over the phone. This your phone. You pay the bill. You know how many times I look at it? Oh, no, not today. I don't need an answer. Listen, you know how many people I got to go straight to voicemail? I love you. I'm telling you, if that's one of you, I love you. But the reality of it is, I understand, or I already know what bag you coming out of. Remember I said, I've been saying this since a couple shows ago, we getting FREE. In order for us to do that, we got to be honest with ourselves. There's some way we've given way. We've given way. So in understanding that, there are some relationships or people, depending on what season you in, you can't even connect with them. Listen, sis, let me tell you, I know you like him. I know you like, and this is for you if you married too. And I mean, it may sting, but you got to hear this. Sis, you're a receiver. Some of them emotions you toiling with ain't even yours. We're going to talk about it over here, Real Conversations with Kim Brown. We're going to talk about it. We're going to tell the truth. Some of what you twirling when you can't sleep, you insomnia, you can't figure out why you can't pull your faculties together. I'm talking about your mental. Sis, them ain't even your emotions, them his. Keep him out your bed. I'm just saying. It's tight, but it's right. I heard that once before. Somebody told me that, Joe. It's tight, but it's right. You know what? Listen, shout out to Sister Marcia Moten. I used to see her in church. She was in the church at home church I grew up in. One of her favorite things to say used to be, "It hurts so good." That's what she used to say. It hurts so good. And I recognize now why she say that, because the truth do hurt, but it's good for you. You got to understand, it doesn't even matter if you marry. Everybody carry their own energy. They have their own emotions. They got their own mind, their own mental. You gonna deal with whatever that person dealing with. That's what you gotta know. It's all right. And you gotta know the truth, and I'm gonna tell you. And so you also gotta know, if you're in a position where there's somebody who have rulership, authority, or leadership, or something like that over you. Listen, first and foremost, I want you to understand, all of us are human. Anybody can lie. Anybody can manipulate. Anybody, am I telling the truth, Joe? Anybody can do it. So when you understand that, you recognize that you can be in a situation where, if you're a subsidiary under somebody and they feel a way about somebody, you gonna feel a way about somebody. Now I hit that, and I hit it for a reason. But you gotta ask yourself, is you feeling a way about somebody or something, is it really warranted? Or is that somebody usurping their manipulation and their control over you? Let me tell y'all something. Let me tell y'all something. I done come a long way. I done come a long way. I done uncovered, discovered. I done relearned a lot of things. And I refuse to allow the enemy to control my mind. I refuse to allow him to control my emotions. And so in order for a person to be, see, you can't, listen, you can't just say you want to be free, but then don't want to go through the process of getting free. Listen, I'm trying to tell y'all, it's tight, but it's right. It's been a grueling, let me tell you something, healing don't look good. You ever had a cut or a scar? Did it look good when it was healing? No, ma'am, it didn't. No, sir, it didn't. Healing don't look good. But if we don't uncover these hidden things, and if you and I don't come together at a table like this or a medium like this and talk about it, we won't ever discover what is up under there. See, this is what the enemy designs to do, is to keep us stuck, right, and blinded, right? Keep you blinded. Because if you don't ever see it, then you don't ever desire to come up out of it. Okay, maybe that was a bit much. I'm gonna give you some skills. I feel like it was a bit much, Joe. It might have been too much. I want to talk to you about some of the things that you can do to help you to regulate your emotions, right? This is what we're talking about. Like I told you guys, this platform is about sharing information. It's about coming together, having difficult conversations. It's about revealing what's ugly, right? So that we can get to what's good. That's what we do over here. That's what we do over here. So listen, when we're talking about emotional regulation, here's some things I want you to do. First and foremost, I want you to create some space. Yes. Well, what do you mean by that, Kim? I want you to create some space for yourself to feel. Okay? Now notice, I never said it was anything wrong with you having emotions. That's natural. I never told you to suppress it, right? What I said was we have to identify what they are, and we also have to identify what was the trigger. What was the thing that came to make you feel the way that you felt, right? Then we gonna deal with the way that you respond. This is how we deal with it. You gotta create space for yourself to feel the way that you feel. Whether it's happy or sad, disappointed, frustrated, right? You gotta create that space. Like, okay, you know what? I'm feeling away. I'm feeling away, Joe. But I just can't say I'm feeling away. I got to name what that is. If I'm mad as hell, I got to say I'm mad as hell. Oh, yeah. If you done hurt me, I got to be able to say, you know what? I'm hurt by this. I'm hurt by this. If I feel like I done been betrayed, lied on, disrespect, whatever the emotion is for you, you got to name that. Right? You got to create the space for you to feel it. You got to name what it is. All right? Once you name what it is, you got to accept it. That's the hard part. I know. Go ahead and take a deep breath on that. Take a deep breath. Adjust yourself. You have to accept it. You have to accept that there have been some areas in your life where you've given way for yourself to be manipulated. You have to accept that there are some areas in your life that you've given way for yourself to be lied to be lied on. You have to accept that there are some areas in your life that you've given way for yourself to be abused, in a sense, to be controlled. I mean, listen, can we have a real conversation here? That's all. I just want to have a real conversation with real people. That's it. You have to accept it. That's what I did on this week. I said to myself, once I realized it, I said, okay, Kim, you done been bamboozled. I said, man, Joe, when we just talked, I said, as soon as I hear me, I said, I done allowed myself to give way to this thing yet again. Right? But I'm only human. So now the next thing you do is you got to practice mindfulness. Don't run away. Come on back. Some of y'all be a little too religious. I can't never introduce none to you. Mindfulness, take away all the other stuff that you think you may know. It's just an awareness. Okay? When I say awareness, what I want you to do when I say practice mindfulness, I want you to be aware of the relationships that you hold dear. Yes? I want you to be aware of the conversations that you have. Yes? I want you to be aware of the places that you go, right? The settings, the situations that you enter. Why is this important? Because, as I told you, environments are important. People, places, and things are important, right? If you are aware and you practice that mindfulness, then you can identify a trigger before it triggers you. That brought me to my next one. Identify your triggers. Listen, there's some of us who don't want to be honest about it, but there are some people who we love who are major triggers for us. There's relationships who we hold dear, and you trying to figure out, how do I maneuver in this situation, because this person just triggers me and it does something to me. Listen, I want to tell you that you might have to make the necessary decisions to put some distance. I'm going to tell you, the best thing my mama taught me was how to love somebody with a long-handed spoon. You know, you ever heard that before? You can love somebody with a long-handed spoon. That means I keep you enough away from me so I can see where you coming. I need to know what bag you coming out of. Because even though I love you, don't mean you love me. It's the truth. It's the truth. It's the truth. And listen, what you got to know is we taking charge of our life in the end of 2021. Remember we talked about in 2022, we stepping into a new year. I told y'all 2022 is my millionaire year. So I know that in order for me to get there, I got to be clear. I got to be clear up here. Yes. I'm not going to be clear up here if I'm Pinocchio and somebody's stringing me like they Geppetto. That ain't going to work. I'm not going to have the mental clarity to get the things done that I need to get done. I can't move like that. So the next thing I need you to do is tune into the symptoms. Well, what you mean, Kim? Well, you know, when you was preparing to go to grandma's house, remember we going back to the scenario? When you was putting your clothes on, you kind of felt like, you know what, I really don't want to go. You know, pay attention to the symptoms. You know how you was like, you know what? I already know it's going to be some bull. Yeah, pay attention to the symptoms. You know how they be. You know what? Woman of God, let me talk to you. Pay attention to the symptoms. Look, don't get mad at me. We just having a real conversation. It's okay. It's okay. Pay attention to the symptoms. You got to tune into that, right? And then you have to consider your response. Well, what do I mean by that? You have to already prepare yourself to respond to certain triggers. And what am I saying by that? I'm saying, okay, well, you already know somebody gonna say something out the way at the family gathering, right? You have to really think about, okay, you know what? Where am I at in my life? I was telling Joe this when I came here. I said, you know what, Joe? I'm just in a place in my life where I cannot afford to allow anybody to rent any space in my head. That's exactly what I said when I came in here. I just can't. I can't allow nobody to rent no space in my head. You know what I have to do? Listen, my block game is strong. Let me tell y'all something. I love everybody. This is what you got to know about Kim Brown. I love everybody. But I understand that I'm only human. So I understand I can swipe through something and see something that somebody said that make me feel away. I don't got time. Block. You hear me? I understand that I'm only human, so I know that certain people, even though I love them, they trigger me. Kim, you coming? You know what? No, I ain't going to be able to make it. I got such and such going on. Huh? Because, see, it ain't about none of that. It's about me gaining back control and being disciplined in my emotions. It's about me getting back to a state of balance. We having a real conversation. I mean, listen, let me tell y'all something. Joe quiet in here tonight. Joe is quiet in here tonight. Listen, because what are we understanding? We recognizing that these things that we deal with, we got the power for real. Like, I don't gotta be depressed, oppressed, and frustrated all darn day. I was getting ready to. I don't gotta be upside down and right side up because of what somebody else is or isn't doing. I don't gotta be in my feelings because, no, you don't have to be, sis, bro. No, you don't. And you can take your ground back from whatever that situation is. The problem is we were never taught how to deal with these things. What the time looking like, Joe? Listen, I'm talking to you guys about how to move from a place of pain to a place of power. Right? That's what we're doing. We're moving through these situations, but we're gaining knowledge and clarity while we're doing them. Listen, that's all I'm saying. Listen, what you got to know about Kim is I'm going to go through. But you better believe when you see me on the other side, I'm going to have something to tell you. I'm just not going to be looking broke, busted, and disgusted like somebody just dragged me. Huh? No. She going to figure out something. She going to get a revelation. She going to come out with some information, and sis going to be looking like, huh? Drag where? not here. You understand? Because see, we have to be able to not only move through the situations that we go through, we have to be able to bring the knowledge with us. Yeah, you moving through some stuff, but you ain't told nobody nothing. Huh? Joe, you moving through, but you ain't told nobody nothing. You ain't said nothing. You ain't shared nothing with nobody about how to move through this thing. Let's go back. And I'm going to be done with y'all. Let's go back. We talking emotional regulation if you just came up in here. Emotional regulation, right? We talking about the ability to exert control over one's own emotions. You, not your baby daddy, not your husband, not your pastor, not your mama. We want you to exert control over your own emotions. You got to have control over your own faculties. That's what I like to say. Your faculties. Bring them in. Okay? We talked about emotional triggers. Yeah, we did. We talked about those things that elicit a physical response or some type of physical from you. Those are triggers. They're emotional triggers. You know, you got people in your life that know how to pull on your heartstrings. Hey, sis. You know, they call your phone. They had a right voice. Hey, sis, how you doing? Y'all all right over there? Amen. I just wanted to... Listen, we having a real conversation. That's all I know. Right? So we talked about some skills that you can use to help you move through and help you to emotionally regulate. Right? Number one, I told you guys need to create some space. You got to create some space for you to feel how you feel. You got to create the space and notice how you feel. And then you got to name that feeling. Far too often, we feel ashamed about the way we feel. Like if somebody done disrespected us, we feel ashamed about that because, you got to be like, man, I'm really feeling disrespected. I'm feeling disrespected. You got to put a name on it. Then you have to accept it. You got to accept, okay, you know what? This person moving real foul. They moving. That's how they want to do. Okay. And you have to practice a mindfulness. What does that mean? You have to practice a heightened sense of awareness about that, because if you know that you're somebody who is easily disrespected or offended by certain things, then that's a level in which you got to guard yourself. It's the truth. See, listen, let me tell y'all something. We are responsible to mature. Yes, I'm talking to you. You're responsible to mature. It's nobody else's job to mature you but you, right? This is how we do it right here. The next thing I want you to do is identify whatever those triggers are. You have to identify them. If it's your mama, your sister, if you get triggered every time you ride down 6 Mile in Myers, I'm going to need you to go another way. If you get triggered every time you hit 75, I need you to find another freeway. Whatever that trigger is. Every time I pass McDonald's, if you get triggered, listen, you're going to have to stay away from Mickey D's. It's the truth, okay? Listen, then I need you to tune into the symptoms. I need you to be in tune with your body about how you're feeling, because your body gonna tell you, it's gonna respond. You know how your heart start beating, you get sweaty, your palms get clammy, or you just get irritated, you moody. You know you getting ready to go over your mama house and that's your body telling you. You about to enter a situation that could be triggering. You need to pay attention. You know you didn't want to go, so why you go? Finally, you need to consider your response. Okay? Because the truth about the matter is, we won't be able to get around all of our triggers. We won't. As we move through life, there are different things that we're going to be triggered with, and we have to learn how to deal with them. We have to learn how to cope with them. We have to learn how to process them and move through them. You are responsible for your own freedom. You're responsible for your own growth. You have the responsibility to gain an understanding about who you are, where you are in your life, to understand some of the things that you deal with, and then to grow. Right? Remember I said earlier, listen, what you got to know is you coming out of a season, you moving through something, but you got to come out with the knowledge. Right? What did you learn? What did you understand about that? And then what you going to do with what you know? Right? What you going to do with what you know? Listen, I didn't come on here to be long with y'all tonight. I thank y'all for tuning in to Real Conversations with Kim Brown. What you got to know tonight, we were talking about emotional regulations. I am so glad that week after week, y'all have tuned in with me on this platform. This was really a leap of faith for me to come and do this, to share with you guys. Like I told you, I didn't know if people will want to hear what I got to say. I didn't know if I had anything of value to say. But I'm so grateful that I took the leap of faith. I'm so grateful that you guys tune in with me week after week. Listen, keep coming on every Friday at 7 p.m. If you are interested in me possibly advertising your business, your content, your product, listen, look at my flyer, check out my packages, hit me up, talk to me. We can get you on the show. We starting small. Listen, don't despise small beginnings. We starting small, but I promise you, it's going somewhere. It's going to get greater. And I want you to partner with me. Check out my packages. Partner with me so that you can be a part of what we're doing over here on Real Conversations with Kim Brown. Thank y'all so much for tuning in. I appreciate you guys. I love you guys. Real Conversations with Kim Brown. 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 All right. Good night.